Welcome back to our third and final video of the 5 pillars of health. We're going to combine the last 3 things, which would be stress management, sleep, and community, all into one video. And the reason that we're going to do this is I think that they all work together. All of these 5 pillars work together, but these 3 specifically. And I think they're also all very underrated in terms of their importance. Everybody that talks about maximizing health and optimizing health talks about sleep. I probably could have done a half-hour to an hour-long video just on the importance of sleep, but I'm going to try and condense this a little bit so we get some good takeaways, but also understand how important everything is. I mean, if you just want a quick takeaway from this video, it's this: try to sleep 7 to 9 hours per night. Try to have a healthy stress management protocol, something that you do on a regular basis. That's a healthy way to relieve your stress. And then lastly, do your best to have a positive support group. If you can do those things, you're going to be in a good position. So I'm going to give you some details as to why that's important as we go through this video, and also some tips on ways to make these things happen. But that's going to be the takeaway from the next 10 to 15 minutes. So when we're talking about sleep, the first question is, why is sleep important? Well, sleep does a lot of things for us. Sleep is the time that we repair our bodies. Whether you're looking to build muscle or burn fat, sleep is the time that that's going to happen. All right, you don't get bigger and stronger by going to the gym alone. You get bigger and stronger by recovering from what you do in the gym. Okay, that time overnight as well is a great time that you can burn fat. The more sleep you get, the more insulin sensitive you are. You reduce your risk of a lot of chronic illnesses if you're well rested. It reduces your sugar cravings. It improves your immune system function. It detoxifies the body, and so all of these things happen when we're at rest. You can go a while without food. You can go a little while without water, but if you go a while without sleep, your body starts to rebel very quickly. So it's just one of those things that needs to be prioritized more than it is. Too many people wear the badge of honor that they can get by on 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and while that may sound impressive, is not a good thing, because it will eventually come back to bite you. So the question now is, how do I get sleep? All right, how do you get more sleep? And it's not easy. Okay, it's a simple thing, but it's not an easy thing. If I'm currently sleeping 5 hours a night and I have to find 2 more hours to try and sleep, that can be tough. And so you're going to have to look at your schedule to try and figure that out. But in terms of quality of sleep and being able to get to sleep, there are some things that I think I can help you with. The first thing is, a good night's sleep actually starts in the morning. So our bodies all run on a rhythm, or a circadian clock, and the earlier in the day we can be exposed to natural light, the better, because that will assist in your cortisol levels rising through the morning and then falling into the evening. And if you're never exposed to light early in the morning, then it throws off your entire rhythm. Try not to drink too much coffee, or caffeine, I should say. All right. If you need caffeine every morning, it's probably a sign that you're not sleeping long enough or sleeping well enough. Try to reduce your stress levels. Okay. If you are constantly stressed, your cortisol levels are higher. Okay. Cortisol is the stress hormone. And if our cortisol level is high when we get ready to go to bed, we may feel tired, but we're also going to feel wired. And at that point, you're exhausted, but you can't turn your brain off. So the more you can do as the day goes on to eliminate stress, the better off you're going to be. Okay, and we'll get into some of those ways that you can do that as we move forward. But exercise is another great way to improve your sleep. the more active you are through the course of the day, typically the better you're going to rest at night. So if you sit around all day, your brain might feel tired, but your body's not ready to rest. So so move every day, whether it's at the gym or just going for a walk. Try and get some activity each day. All right, now as far as food goes, anytime you eat well, your body is going to be able to do the processes that it wants to do at a higher level. Okay, so eating well definitely matters, but also when you eat can play a big role. All right, so digestion is a stress on the body, and if we are eating right before bed, even if you are able to fall asleep, you're not going to have as good of sleep, as high quality of sleep, because your body is going to be putting resources towards digestion. So if you can try and stop eating 2 to 3 hours prior to bed, that's going to be a win for your body in terms of the repair. Okay. In terms of the time that you try and get to bed, try to get to bed by 10 o'clock. I talked about that circadian rhythm earlier, and what they're finding is that like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the prime time for your body to work on repair and regeneration. So if you can be in bed and asleep by 10 o'clock until 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., that's the time that your body is doing the most work in terms of repair. So try not to miss out on those hours. Obviously, you want to sleep more than that 4-hour window, but you don't want to miss out on it, because once you get into the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., it shifts over more towards a detoxification setting or system in the body. So, if you can be asleep by 10 o'clock, that would be great. Other than other than not eating a few hours before bed, try to limit the electronic use. Blue light interferes with our sleep. It interferes with our melatonin and serotonin production, which affect the quality and quantity of our sleep. So for every hour that you're on that hormone production is hindered. So especially as we get closer to bed, if you have to be on your device, on your phone, on your computer, watching TV, most phones and computers have a nighttime mode, and that will reduce some of the blue light that you're getting. So that's a good starting point. But as time goes forward, try and give electronics a bedtime as much as possible. And then if you can sleep in the darkest room possible, in a cool room, 62 to 68 degrees is ideal. Cover up all you want, but try and keep the room a little bit cooler if at all possible. And now, as far as stress goes, moving on to stress, understanding that everything that we do is a stress, understanding that there are good and bad stresses, and high levels of stress intermittently are okay. So exercise is a stress. A meeting at work can be a stress, but you need to be able to come down from those things. It's the chronic levels of stress that cause the issues, because your cortisol levels never dip. All right, you just kind of stay stressed all of the time, and if you do that, then you're never going to be able to get the rest that you need. All right, and so getting back to how we do this, it's very similar. Some of those things are similar to when I talked about sleep. So try to stop eating before bed, because it will improve your sleep. All right. Get to bed early, get enough sleep to be able to handle that stress. And again, like I said, it all works together. So if you're able to sleep well, your body's going to be able to repair, and it's going to be able to handle the stress that you put on it. Okay. In terms of actually, while you're awake, managing your stress, one is try and prioritize your life as much as possible. Okay, everybody that I've listened to that's a successful business person or successful in whatever their field is talks about the importance of saying no and learning to say no. Okay, so once you're able to really focus on the important things instead of just saying yes to everything and running around like crazy, then you're going to be able to limit that stress. All right. Exercise is another great stress reliever. Okay. So whether that is yoga, weightlifting, walking, swimming, biking, whatever it is that you like to do, that can be a stress reliever. Now, I will say, if you are stressed about exercise, it's probably not beneficial to you. If you are missing out on a ton of sleep because of exercise, it's probably not beneficial. So if you're getting up 2 hours earlier to work out and you're not getting high quality sleep, I'm going to make the argument that you probably don't need to be working out at the expense of sleep. Okay. Now, obviously, exercise is important and find a way to do it, but don't compromise sleep to do so. Okay. And then the same thing goes for stress. If you are constantly stressed, you have a very high stress job or just a high stress life, and then you go and you put more stress on your body through exercise, eventually your body can break down if you don't allow it to repair and recover through quality nutrition, through quality sleep. So you're starting to see how all these things work together. Okay. And then another good way to reduce stress is just some simple meditation, some simple yoga, breathing exercises. And it doesn't have to take a long time. It can be a couple of minutes where you work on breathing. You can look into box breathing. You can look into, there's a ton of different types of breathing, meditative breathing and diaphragmatic breathing practices out there. But a simple one is where you simply breathe in for 3 to 5 seconds, hold it, and then exhale for a little bit longer than it takes you to breathe in. And if you do that for a minute or two, it will drastically bring down your stress levels, your blood pressure, all those things. So, but find what it is that you like to do, all right, and what works for you to bring down stress levels, all right. And lastly, I want to talk about community, and I think this one can definitely be overlooked, but ultimately, the biggest determining factor as to whether or not an exercise program or a diet plan are successful is compliance. All right. So if I do something, I'm probably going to get results if I do it consistently. Now, if I'm constantly fighting against coworkers, spouse, kids, all of these different things that are supposed to be my community, or that are my community and are supposed to be my support system, then it's going to make it that much tougher. It's one more obstacle in the way of being healthy. So they say that everybody has 3 places primarily that they go to, and that may be more now, but I've heard that it's 3 places. You have home, you have work, and you have a third place. So that third place, if the first 2 places are not supportive of what you're trying to do, that third place better be. Okay. So that can be the gym, it can be a coffee shop, a bookstore, the church, somewhere that brings you pleasure. All right. Somewhere that helps to bring down the stress level, somewhere that's supporting whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it's a physical goal or not. Whatever your goals are, they need to be supported. All right. And so if you can manage these things, all right, if you can figure out a way to get some sleep, if you can figure out a way to manage your stress levels, and if you can put yourself into a scenario where you have a positive community, a supportive community around you, it's going to work towards an overall healthy life. Okay. And so just as a quick recap, going all the way back to the first pillar of health, you have diet, you have exercise, you have sleep, you have stress management, and you have community. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to say is that if you feel lost, if you feel like I have none of these in place, all right, don't try and change all of them at the same time. All right. Work on one thing at a time. What that one thing is, I don't know, but maybe it's an extra hour of sleep. All right. And once you're getting that extra hour of sleep, it leads to making better food choices, so you can work on the nutrition piece of it. And then after that, you're eating well, losing a little bit of weight. Now you add in an exercise program. Okay. And so whatever that is for you, that's going to be determined by your life. If you need help prioritizing these things, you can always reach out to me. But again, I just want people to be happy. I want people to be healthy. And, sooner or later, your health is going to be your number one priority. So do your best to, make that now, make that sooner than later. All right. It's been a pleasure bringing these videos to you. We're going to be moving on to another series here. But until then, have a great day.